All right, now that I have sound, and thank you, Jeremy. I want to say thanks, guys, for joining me on March 14th, the day before the Ides of March, for all of you Caesar fans out there. I want to talk a little bit about committing to change, and with most of these guys, thank you. I appreciate that, brother. With most of these, it's always from the angle of being a dad, being a father, and how we focus on a lot of that first, and we always have to weigh and measure a large number of things, and we often have mixed emotions or feelings, and I can't be certain how many times I've been told in my life that I have been ambivalent. But let's talk a little bit about today about committing to change and how ambivalence plays into committing to change. If we go ahead and I'm going to drag this around up top here and just put that up there and say, let's take a look at what ambivalence means. It's like ambivalence is a state of having mixed feelings or contradictory ideas about something or someone. So when we are starting to think about the changes we want to make or we feel like we need to make, we've got we've got the good guy, the bad guy, we've got the two different feelings. We've got the should I do this and I want to do this, I believe I should do this. What am I waiting on to do this? And we've got all these good ideas that we want to move towards and go towards, but then we also and those would be like the change that we want to commit to, right? The change that we want to commit to is probably a good positive change that would have all kinds of great things and meaning in our lives, and that would overflow for our children's, our wives, our jobs, our communities. But then we find the other side, right? Then we find just like one or two of the things standing in our way that is going to keep us from moving forward, and that's kind of the gist of ambivalence, right? We've got the good and the bad, and sometimes that keeps us stuck. And so we'll think about the good, we'll start to take a step forward, but then we'll kick right back and we'll be like, well, here's this other one or two like things that what if this happens? It's a little bit of a fierce mindset that we stop and we look at that, and then we look at the whole idea together. It closes down, and we don't do anything at all. So how do we commit to change? Oftentimes, it takes sharing our ideas out loud. It takes writing these ideas down on paper to see them kind of written out in front of you to materialize. It takes having an accountability partner. If it's not like your wife, maybe even share it with your own children. What are some things that you could share with your children and say, hey, look, here's a couple of changes I'm thinking about making. Because one of the things that holds us back and puts us in this ambivalence trap is not having affirmation. Sometimes it's our own mental chatter holding us back and saying, well, I just don't think that's a good idea. Well, what happens if you share this with your children? If anybody, especially with younger children, knows that the young kids love pretty much 99% of what comes out of your mouth, and they're excited for you. So, if you could share it with an accountability partner, make that accountability partner just your kids, you could take like a step forward, and then you commit to that change, because who wants to let their kids down? Who wants to let their kids down? Nobody wants to let their own children down. So, that could be one way to do it. Another way to do it would be another accountability coach, would be another way. If you've already got a coach, if you've got a men's group, I always offer up Fatherhood for the Rest of Us. If you are a father and, you're looking for a place to try and work through some of your things, a lot of things that I see in the Fatherhood for the Rest of Us group is, how can I, not just commit to these changes. I want to be more present in my life, right? I want to be more present. Well, what is it about being more present that you really want to? What does it mean to you? So I think that we have a bunch of these canned responses, and it's easy to do. it's easy to say, I just want to be more present, because everybody's saying they want to be more present. I see, hey, this guy says he wants to be more present. I don't know why he wants to be more present, though. And what's that going to do? You know, write that out. And that'll be some more of what helps drive that change for you. So another way to do it, you've got the accountability groups, friends. Share your ideas with people, guys. I mean, if nobody knows that you're trying to change except for you, it's really easy to get out of that, right? I mean, you're the only one who knows. So share it with somebody, write it down. If you write it down, look at it on a piece of paper like every day. These are the changes that you are committed to making. Get out of this ambivalence trap. Get out of just, saying, hey, look, it doesn't really matter one way or another, because it does matter one way or another to you. Otherwise, it wouldn't be on your mind. If you've got things that are on your mind, you're ambivalent towards them, the other thing that's probably doing is causing a little bit of stress in your life. If you can't, these things never really go away, right? There's something that's stuck in your head that is never going away, keeps showing back up. And if it keeps showing back up, pay it some mind. Figure out a way to get it off of your mind. Figure out a way to, move forward with it. And once you move forward with something that you have committed to, it's kind of like, you dropping a shackle, releasing the anchor, and you feel this sort of liberation and freedom that you may not have experienced before, because you've always just kept it in your head. I'm curious to hear from you guys what some of the ways that you use that get you past, your commitment, your fear of commitment to change. What are some things about, how you moving forward? I hope that this one has been somewhat of an interesting one for you guys. I am always looking for other ways to change myself, and then and then deciding to get over my own ambivalence. I'd rather be a decision maker. I'd rather make decisions in my own life than just to sit there and kind of waffle back and forth with them. If this sounds like something that you're working through and you're looking for a group, like I said, Fatherhood for the Rest of Us is a great group for fathers. All kinds of men in there who are working through their own types of changes and committing to their own types of changes. If you haven't listened to the podcast, Fatherhood for the Rest of Us, go check that out. That's to be found at fatherhoodfortherestofus.com. And if group settings aren't your thing, and if you just want to have a one-on-one powerful conversation, I am offering free 1-hour breakthrough sessions. I mean, it could be anything you want. I can guarantee you that it's going to help you to get over some of your own ambivalence, recognize some of the things that you would like to commit to, and begin to take action on your life. So reach out to me if that's something that interests you, if groups aren't your thing, and if you just want to do a one-on-one thing. If you want to take action now, if you realize that now is the time, you can reach out to me on Messenger, guys, and we can have that conversation. Anyways, hope this has been helpful. Rick Berman shows up. He says, wow, look at that background and all that fire. Always good to see you, Rick. All right, guys. First, decide. Does whatever the thing need to change really need to change? Sure. Maybe it's fine the way it is, or maybe it's just absolutely, Emily. But one of the things that I know that I found over the course of my life, I don't always have the best ideas, and often it's not just by myself that it works. It comes out in conversation, comes out in dialogue. If it doesn't get out of my head in some way, shape, or form, that's where it stays, and change never happens. So those are my thoughts, and that's just me. That's just the way I operate. And if that sounds like something the way you operate too, then like I said, let's have a conversation. No big deal. No strings attached. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your afternoon.